Party people, it's Caravan Dan from Gaming Caravan. Today we're going to be doing a before you buy video on Santorini. If you don't know Santorini, you're about to find out. This is, it's not a game that I get paid to talk about. Nope. Party people, today we're going to be doing a before you buy video on Santorini. If you don't know Santorini, you're about to find out, and honestly that means you're pretty new to the hobby. We're going to be talking about Santorini. I'll be doing some factual conversation beforehand where all the details about the game you need to know before you play it, and then I'll be doing a subjective opinionated review about what I liked, what I disliked, and why I think the game might need to be great. But overall, that's going to be what the video is about. So let's get started. Before we get started, do me a favor and tell me your favorite mythological based board game, whether it's Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology, Norse mythology, whatever it might be. Do me a favor and drop that in the comment of this video now. Now, starting off with the publisher of this game is published under Roxley and Spin Master Games. I'm not sure which one has the majority rights, but it's by those two publishers. The designer of this game is Gord. That's all I could find. It's like Games by Gord, so this game is by Gord. The player count for this game is 2 or 4 players, not 2 to 3. It's 2 or 4 players, meaning you either do a 1v1 or a 2v2. The weight of this game is 1.5. What I consider to be a 1 are games like Uno and Monopoly, where you don't really make decisions. The game just plays itself for you for the most part. 2 is where you get into the introduction, like kind of weighted real board games. This one is very simple, but can turn very strategic really quickly, just like a game of checkers. The teach for this game is genuinely 5 minutes or less. Very simple. I'll teach you the game going forward, and I'll teach you the game a little bit further into this video. The playtime of this game is 15 to 30 minutes. 10 to 15 if it's like someone you're going against that, they're just getting a feel for the game, where they're not really paying attention, they're not really good at this abstract type of gameplay. 30 minutes if you're fighting someone who you really resonate with and you're just back and forth, blow for blow, like in a game of chess. Chess is really quickly if you're playing with someone who's not good at the game, but it's really long if you're playing with someone who really knows what they're doing or is at a similar frequency as you. The theme of this game are basically gods vying for power, trying to get to the top of their pedestal as fast as possible. The 3 primary mechanics of this game, we got variable powers. Everyone's going to have their own different power, and it will change with every single game if you wanted to. We have racing, because this game is a race. You're trying to get to the 3rd floor of a building before your opponent. And we have grid movement, because everything's based on a grid movement, just like chess, just like Go, just like checkers. The unique hook for this game is that it's an abstract, simple game that kids can enjoy while being a replayable experience for adults or individuals who are deep into the board game hobby. This game's good for anyone. Now, the price of this game, if you get an MSRP, is around $38. But genuinely, this is a game that's always on Facebook Marketplace. It's always in trade groups. It's always around, usually with the expansion for $10, $15 with the expansion. Everyone I know has gotten this game for under 20 with the expansion. So it's just that good, simple, that well avowed. Basically, everyone's had this game for so long, they're finally just trading it to get it out of their house. Because although it's a good game, once you get deep in the hobby, it's not a game you come back to too often, unless you love it. The setup time is genuinely 5 minutes. The longest thing about this game isn't really the setup or play time. It's really about trying to get it to fit back in the box with all of these plastic pieces around. Oops. If this doesn't prove my opinion that's hard to take the game out of the box, then I don't know what will. Because there's no insert, and this is just obnoxious. You really have to remove like half the game to pray to God you make room to just, screw it, put it in there. And then put everything back they just took out. I was just like, yeah, this is... Yeah, insert sucks. There's no insert. Maybe I should make that a feature, but I just want to prove a point, you know what I mean? I don't have an agenda, but this sucks. This part sucks. Good game, though. Good game. Just, bad insert. I'll call it. Now, for games that are comparable to this game, the only game I can think of myself is Cord, just because it's another game that's racing and you're trying to block your opponent while making a path for yourself to victory. There's no asymmetry, like variable player powers in that game, but in terms of a racing game that's grid movement, that is also like helping yourself while hurting your opponent, that is the only one I could think of. The target audience for this game, as far as I can tell, seem to be young introduction gamers, for it's like a gift for kids or a gift to people who oh, I know my nephew's a gamer, let me get him this game, even though it might not fit to their hobby and weight. It's a game that's gifted a lot, as I can tell, and it's meant for, younger players, the younger audience for sure. Now we're going to be talking about how to play this game. Super simple. You start off by, first your opponent will go ahead and choose a location to put their player on the board. And then you'll choose a location to put your player on the board, anywhere on the board. Then they place their second unit, and then you place your second unit, and now the game will begin. Starting off, whoever placed the first person will go first. They're going to choose one of their two individuals to move. You can move anywhere orthogonally or diagonally. It's not a game that you are limited. It's orthogonally or diagonally anywhere in the 8 squares next to you. You have to stay on the board as long as your player ability makes you stay on the board. So let's say that this person starts off by going here. After you move one space, you now have to build at an adjacent location, again, any of the 8 spaces around you. Now, when you build, you can build anywhere in those 8 spaces. So let's say you want to build on the ground, there's nothing left to build. You'll build a level 1. Now, let's say that was already there. You want to build a level 2. You'll then build a level 2. Maybe that was already there, and you want to build a level 3. You will build a level 3. And in this game, the 2 ways to win are by blocking your opponent, making it sure that the opponent cannot move whatsoever, or by getting to the 3rd story first. Now, getting to the 3rd story first is a majority way to win, but technically you can win by making sure your opponent cannot move or cannot build, which is insanely difficult to do. Now, let's say that this 3rd story was already there and I want to build. Maybe I want to stop my opponent from getting to that 3rd story. You can build a cap, basically saying you are not allowed to go there to that location for the rest of the game. That location is effectively null and void. You can only build the caps on the 3rd floor to negate the entire location, unless your ability says otherwise. Notice how all the abilities basically break a rule of the game, just like any good player ability. So you can move, and you can then you build. You have to move one of your people, and you have to build on the worker that you move. The way you jump up in this game is if there is a level adjacent to your level, you can move up. So for instance, if I'm on the ground and there's a level 1 right here, I can move up 1 level. Same thing, if you're on, the 1st level, you want to go to 2nd level, you can move up to 2nd level. If you want to jump down, you can jump down as much as you want. No need to follow the same rules of gravity. There's no fall damage in this game. However, you do have to follow the rules to go back up. The game ends again if somehow you get to the 3rd level before your opponent. The game will end immediately. No need to wait for them to get back. It'll go bada bing, bada boom. The game is immediately over. Just like checkbaiting the other player's king. And just like that, in less than 5 minutes, the game is completely taught. Just follow your player abilities for whatever they might say. There's also in the rulebook, the rulebook is basically just for player abilities. It's super short. The back of the box teaches you how to play the game. The rulebook is built just specifically for all these player abilities. There's an expansion of this game, I think a few expansions, including like the new co-op version of the game. But the expansion that I have includes like the heroes. So instead of having god powers, you have one-time use game powers, which change the game slightly, as opposed to massively. Now that all the factual elements are done, let's go ahead and go to my opinion section of this overview. What I like about the game, what I don't like about the game, and so forth. Now, going straight into how the game feels. The game feels fun. It really does feel like I'm fighting someone. It feels like it's a nice, healthy 1v1. You're not necessarily punching anyone. It's definitely good for all age groups. You can play with a child. You can have children play together. You can have old people play together. It's not really aggressive in the sense you're good, like you hate the other person. You want to fight them over it. It's just a fun, quick time that you don't have to spend too much time in AP about. You do your thing, they do their thing. You just go back and forth for a bit. You play this a few times, maybe you play the game 3 or 4 times, best out of 2, best out of 5, and then you pack it up. And then you don't pull it out for another month or 2. I really do like this game. I've made my own version of Santorini called Speed Serini, where it's basically no player abilities. It's a 1v1 game to get to the 3rd floor or block your opponent from moving. And it's based on bullet chess, where effectively you both have a 60-second timer. When your turn ends, you press it and start the other player's timer. And then the 3rd way you can win now is by having your opponent run out of time. So again, I like this game so much, I even made my own fan version of this game that probably other players have already made as well. Yeah, it feels like a good 1v1. It really does feel like you have godlike abilities. It really does feel like it's a healthy 1v1. It feels like you have these people trying to ascend you to godhood, which I think is the main overall theme of the game. So this game, feels pretty good. How it looks. The game looks, as it should if the target audience is children. It's part of the reason why I say the target audience is children is because of the art style. It's really bubbly. It's very cutesy. It's not very deep or dark or gritty no matter what the hero champion is, which isn't bad necessarily. It's almost like Funko Pops where everyone is made, and also Binding of Isaac where every character has the exact same skin, facial features, just body type overall. The men are the same guy. The women are like the same guy with like woman details. Overall, they're the same, and it's just cute to, have them go against each other, and then the player abilities just do a good job, showing what the character is. Poseidon can move around on the ocean as much as he wants. Prometheus will build twice instead of moving up if he wants to. Hermes can move as much as he wants on the same level without ascending. So they're all doing what their godlike abilities are. So it really does resonate with the, the actual mythology of the game. So it does look, pretty cartoony, but I think it fits for how they did it. Now, what I like about this game does a great job of making you care about it for long enough. I love games that end before you want it to, because that means that you have to run it back. And if the game stays, it's stay for too long, then you don't want to play it again. You want to pack it up and you're like, let's do something else. The game took longer than I wanted it to. So it's better for a game to end before you want it to, than for a game to go on longer than it should. And this game just, again, I think it does a good job being like a short game, quick lived. You want to try out all these character abilities, and there's a ton to go through, so the game's very replayable in that sense. Different kind of strategies you can do, different placements you can have your characters on there. These 3D tokens are pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie, they could have done something weaker, but they have like these custom tokens for each level, each floor. I don't get what these caps are for, but I'm not really good about geography and culture and all that stuff, so this is probably like a Greek thing I'm just unaware of. But I think it's pretty cool that you actually like have to build these houses. You run up them, you run around an empty location, and like build out a mini city. And it really is a pretty dope thing. I like this in a lot of different ways. I'm not like infatuated with it, but I do very much enjoy it and I appreciate it. And like I would love to build something like this one day. What I didn't like about the game is basically, I can't say I didn't like anything about the game necessarily. It's well thought out, it's well fleshed out. I think the abilities can kind of suck one way or another in terms of like there are very bad matchups. There are abilities that are much better in a 4-player game than a 2-player game. It's just, overall, I wish that they were more balanced, and I know they have some ways to help balancing them out, but that's really it. That's the only thing I dislike, is that not all characters are built equally. Essentially, some are definitely objectively better than others, but they're definitely like tiers. Like there are some characters you can always play against each other. There's no character that's just the best that you can win with every single time or anything like that. It's just, some are good for your playstyles, but some are objectively better than other types of champions, which are just expected in games where it's like focus on kids, focus on fun, and then entertainment stuff. Nothing's broken in this game whatsoever. There's something that's, again, insane, but there are some that I know that are better matchups than others. Now, would I replay this game? 100%. I love playing this game. This is a good game. I want to get to the table again. I don't like immediately want to get to the table, but I would love to hit this up pretty soon. I would like to try out, pulling this out with some friends and having like an idle chit chat over it. It's good because it has like deep thought if you want to have deep thought, or you can just bust down and do a few games if you want to just while you're chatting. It's not like high luck. There's no luck in this game whatsoever, which is another thing I very much appreciate. It's a really good abstract game. I love a good abstract game. I grew up with chess. I grew up with Go. And this is something in that realm that's targeted towards kids, and it's a good for it. It's only popular probably because of the art style, and it's tailored to like a younger audience, in my opinion. Now, would I purchase this game at the $38 MSRP? No way, Jose. I would get this game the way everyone gets this game these days, where it's through the like Facebook Marketplace, through a used guy, through a sale. You find a $5 bin or something like that. Everyone I know gets this at like Dice Star East Trades, or maybe like a Facebook Marketplace. Like I've already told you how to get this game super cheap. Get it for under $20. I wouldn't pay more than $20 for this game because, again, it's nice, it's cute, it's replayable, but because of how little we return to this game, it's not really worth a $4 MSRP. And even so, this game doesn't scream out to me at $4 MSRP. A lot of components, a lot of pieces. I understand that this is like, not cheap to make, but they definitely deluxified the game in order to upgrade the price in a few different ways. Like this board as elevated with the board underneath it. You don't need this bottom board. You don't need the board to be elevated. There's 3 different boards when they could have done just one. And I don't even think that's necessarily going above and beyond, honestly, because putting this bottom one on, it's kind of tedious and unnecessary for the sure. It doesn't fit well in this box whatsoever. So just a heads up. So get this game used, unless you really want to support Roxley and Spin Master Games and have the money for that. Which is a great cause because Roxley and Spin Master are great publishers. Now, the last aspect of this video I could talk about is the final ranking. If you don't know, every game I do before you buy a video on, and a bunch of other games are put into a list where I rank games. Number 1 being my favorite game and the game I want to return to the most, and the lowest one being the game I want to return to the least, and the game I dislike the most. Santorini, with or without the expansion, truly, I don't really play with the expansion that much because I like the overall game abilities versus the one-time use, like in-game powers. I would say that the Santorini game falls on 50 out of 104. Which for the record, I played a lot of great games I dislike don't even start until like number 80, so this is still like pretty good ranking for me. It's number 50. Actually, so sorry. This is number 53. Santorini falls at number 53 out of 104. It goes right underneath Nova Luna. I really do like Nova Luna. It's a really cool game. That's like, I don't know, it's very interesting mechanisms. I can't really explain too much. I'd love to do before you buy video on. And definitely check it out. I think it's a Knizia game, which it's a very impressive design that is very logic based, and I really do like that game, to be fully honest. It's right above Terrible Quest. If you don't know, Terrible Quest is a game I still need to do a video on, which it's a very interesting concept of ripping up pieces of paper. So truly, it's like a roll and write, and you cannot laminate this one because you have to actually rip it up in order to fulfill the recipes of slaying the monsters, of slaying the demons, and gaining points in a very limited dexterity-based environment that's also, you know, real-time game. And even though everything points on you shouldn't like that game because the dexterity, it's real time. It's like a tiny box game. I don't know. It works for it. It really does a great job. The main issue is it's not too replayable. But anyways, this game is number 53 out of 104, right underneath Nova Luna, right above Terrible Quest. And yeah, that's everything for today. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, subscribe to see more content like this. Also drop a like on the video so we can do more videos that you guys like that I do. Drop a comment if you've played Santorini and what you think about the game yourself. And yeah, that's everything for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the community. Go to the comments and description if you want to join our other online communities. But for now, peace, have a great day, God bless, and I hope to see you at a table soon.